I have the skill set to discuss publicly that white folks sometimes have a cultural difference and look at black folks. And I'm going to continue that dialogue. Do you know it's outrageous for a white person with a possible cultural difference? See, she said what she knew about me. I'm saying what happens, some white folks have a cultural difference and they look at black folks as crooks, gangsters, pimpsters, crooks. And she done sat up here and said she know I'm a crook and she happened to be white from the east side and I happen to be black from the far north side. I wouldn't care what Trump said. You said, Mr. President, I'm going to talk black, white, racism, discrimination, and there's some white folks like her who I believe is like that. Now, I believe that. I don't know, but I waited a long time to call her what I believe to be racist because she made the first attack talking about he's the most racist person I ever met. He's a misogynist. Now she done went to criminal activity and said she know it. And I want the tape too, Miss Fields. So when you get the tape ready, Davina, for her, I want the part where she says she know I'm a crook. Now, I'm not going to let this white lady from the north side characterize this black man from the east side characterize this black man from the north side. I'm going to face it head on. Forget subtleness. He's a crook. I know he is. That's what she said.
What's the point?
I'll wait and say the 54 seconds, because when she flare up again, I'm going to blast her again. She did say that she know that I had did criminal activity. So her mouth moving, and she don't even know what she's saying about black folks. She say so much, I ain't studying her. Black butt being removed. I ain't white, I'm black. And I'm proud of being black. My ward is black. And I'm here to tell you, I can say the black votes has been split and Neeley has been involved, and I can describe a Willie Lynch syndrome when it comes to the appointment of John Daley and the chief of police. Now, this city ain't had a white police chief in over 30 years. But you don't want me to talk black, white, young, old, Democrat, and Republican. The Republicans just demonstrated to this nation they didn't care what the rules was.
You're a basket case.
Point of order.
I'm a basket case. That's a personal attack. You a basket. You a tight head ponytail Negro. So if I'm a basket case, you personal attacking son of a gun, you a tight head ponytail wearing Negro.
Mr.
Davis. Don't tell me who I am. Chair this basket. You don't want me to talk black, white, young, old, Democrat, and Republican. The Republicans just demonstrated to this nation they didn't care what the rules was.
You're a basket case.
Point of order.
I'm a basket case. That's a personal attack. You a basket. You a tight. You don't want me to talk black, white, young, old, Democrat, and Republican. The Republicans just demonstrated to this nation they didn't care what the rules was.
You're a basket case.
Point of order.
I'm a basket case. That's a personal attack. You a basket. You a tight head ponytail Negro. So if I'm a basket case, you personal attacking son of a gun, you a tight head ponytail wearing Negro.
Mr.
Davis. Don't tell me who I am. Chair this meeting. You don't know how to chair a meeting. I want this sent to the Ombudsman's office, the Ethics Committee, the Federal Court, discrimination, Title VII, because I'm black, and you teamed up with white folks. You mad at me? You been hollering at me, little handkerchief-head Negro, for all meetings. Handkerchief-head Negro is somebody who try to please white folks by hollering at a Negro.
Any more discussion?
Now, if you proud, I can't trust these black Negroes.
The question.
Mr. Chair, I'm not saying that Mr. Mays was not out of order, but that was a personal attack from the chair. It was inappropriate.
Look, you
I
can take
understand that I'm not. Mr. Davis, Mr. Davis, I understand that. Mr. Davis, I'm just saying as the
up here to hear, but for you and the audience and the public, we shouldn't be voting on the 5-minute limit because this folks should have been here Saturday. We called a special council meeting just to talk about ARPA Saturday, and 5 council members was intentionally, in my opinion, missing in action. 5 of them. Want me to name them? You, Ms. Worthing, Ms. Priestley, the so-called President Herkenroder, and Mr. Piper. 5 was missing in action. We had all day Saturday. It was so important we called it on the weekend. We know what this is. Mr. Murphy, if it wasn't for Mr. Murphy talking last week, we wouldn't have had a clue something was coming out Monday. I was the president. I appointed you and Ms. Priestley to an ad hoc committee to report to this council. You and Ms. Priestley got up, Ms. Lottie Ferguson spoke on it and broke the quorum. Just left last week. So you broke the quorum last week. and stop the discussion on ARPA. Y'all intentionally didn't show up Saturday for the most part, and now you want to limit the discussion to 5 minutes. I'm willing to meet tomorrow, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. I'm a council person. We ain't got to talk about it none today if y'all want to meet tomorrow. You cannot run from this discussion about $94 million and who gonna get it. And my job is to not let it be doled out to big organizations and forget about the residents. In 2 days' notice, it was over 100 and some people in this council chambers interested in this money. Y'all wasn't here. That's a fact. Where was you at? Maybe Saturday was wash day. Maybe you was looking at the game. When do you want to meet? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday? When them people call me as president of this council back to back, how can we get our names in for to let you know what we want? I brought a proposed form to this council.
Well,
in April.
We are already moving on restoration.
So you telling me we ain't lost no restoration for no reason? And if that's the case, then damn it, why is I'm getting all these calls? Tell me and the citizens, who responsible for all these holes in the street? You?
Yes.
Okay, so Rob Benzick, why aren't you fired?
Pardon me?
Why aren't you fired then?
Why am I not what?
Fired.
Fired?
Yeah, if you got $11 million worth of money and can't keep up with the restoration and you responsible, not the mayor, not this council, why ain't you fired?
Can I answer? Or
Yeah, answer. Since you responsible.
Well, are you going to let me answer or are you going to yell at me?
Y'all brought 5 lawnmower contracts to us months ago. We approved them. Grass ain't cut. Y'all brought $11 million worth of restoration and stuff ain't being repaired. So you want to play a game with Miss Galloway, but really the buck stopped with you. You think it's funny, Mr. Benzick?
Oh,
okay, look, I'm going to request an investigative hearing and I'm going to put you under subpoena. Now you think it's a joke?
Whatever you got to do.
I'm going to do what I got to do. You up here arguing in a council meeting and y'all watching. Mr. President, when you got department heads up here laughing and talking about do what you got to do, being disrespectful and condescending because we talking about high grass and potholes, and that's the man in charge, I sure hope y'all put him under investigative hearing and swear him in. I want you under oath. Leave me out here like I'm a fool. I'm going to tell you what, I done seen this movie before. It was Kerry Nelson, Jackie Poplar, Juan Perez.
Order.
What's your point of order?
Madam President, how long are you going to let this
You've
rambling
already
continue?
had your first warning, and so either I can have Officer Metcalf escort you from the meeting, or you can leave on your own.
I'll take the escort because I'm going to sue. You can't remove me out
We will
my
take a
elected seat for
5-minute
trying to
recess.
talk about
Madam Chair.
a motion. This is
Madam Chair.
outrageous.
Madam Chair.
This is outrageous. This is outrageous.
Mr. Metcalf.
Oh, they laugh. Y'all think it's funny that you can remove elected folks out their seat for talking about Democrats, Republicans, old administrations, and new and blight? This is getting ridiculous in front of the city of Flint, across the nation, repeatedly, Gestapo-style tactics. This is ridiculous. They think it's funny to this crowd. This is getting to be way too much, Mr. Metcalf. And this is the first round on that before they call for the question. Call for the question. This is the laziest non-due diligence council I've ever sat on in my life. And I'm calling them out. Ain't gonna get business done.
Thank you. What's your
That's
point
an
of order?
attack.
It is an attack. Calling a form fraudulent is attack. talking about the process, and then you trying to bypass it. It's an attack. You're damn right it's an attack on foolishness.
Councilman Mays, I'm going to have to issue a warning, sir.
Well, you can give a warning.
You've been issued a
I
warning.
don't give a damn about a warning.
Councilman Mays.
This is going to help some people.
Councilman Mays.
Murphy, through you, Madam Chair, to Mr. Murphy, I want you to know what you're saying and trying to do is pissing me off.
We're doing decorum. We're not doing that.
Beg your pardon?
We're not doing
We
that.
ain't doing what?
We're not picking on each other. I've already called decorum on 4 of my
I'm not picking on him. I'm saying
not
what
doing that.
how I feel. We are doing that. I can say how I feel. I ain't picked on him. I say what he's saying and doing about the previous administration versus this administration in this case is pissing me off. I am doing that if that's how I feel. I stick by it. I call you a handkerchief-head Negro. I call him a handkerchief-head Negro. And I'm sticking with it. Google it. You got words like gaslighting, handkerchief-head Negro. All that's in the dictionary now. You just outdated.
Point of information. Through you to the speaker, do you know my name is Quincy Murphy or Councilman Murphy or Third Ward or Mr. Murphy? Not handkerchief, Negro, a number of those words.
I view you as a handkerchief-head Negro. I don't know how you view
Point
yourself.
of information. Through
What's your
you to
point?
the speaker, my name is Councilman Murphy, Mr. Murphy, or Third Ward Councilman. Them three. No, we ain't using adjectives or we ain't using those other words. And all due respect to you, I'm asking you, and I'm asking my colleagues to my name is Councilman-elect Quincy Murphy. Nothing else. I don't want to be called by anything else.
Man, that Third Ward gonna look pretty much the same from the time you got there to the time you left. Y'all ain't doing all of that, but your ego got you thinking you are. That's usually how handkerchief-head Negroes act and talk to other Negroes. I'm gonna talk about it. They used to call him Uncle Tom.
Go ahead. Mr. Mays, please refrain from referring to your colleagues as derogatory names.
This is an appeal on me calling y'all handkerchief-head Negroes. And so I'm going to talk about handkerchief-head Negroes in the appeal, win, lose, or draw. That's what this appeal is about. I call you and him a handkerchief-head Negro. Now y'all don't want me to say handkerchief-head Negro in the appeal? What he want me to say? Mr. Murphy, handkerchief-head Negro. Councilman Murphy, handkerchief-head Negro. Quincy Murphy, handkerchief-head Negro. I know your name the whole time. Giving speeches. We're not going to be able to get no work done until we get him out of there. He's a disgrace. And you think I'm going to sit here and applaud you? You're a handkerchief-head Negro.
Those messages are that black men are dangerous because if you look at the news, there have been studies on this. Local news overrepresents black folks as perpetrators, overrepresents white folks as victims. So the message that gets sent is they're dangerous and specifically to you. They are not only bad people, they're going to hurt you. So therefore, we want to keep them on that side of town. We want to keep their children in those schools over there. We don't want to work around them. We don't want to live around them, et cetera, et cetera. So I think that message comes through loud and clear in the way that media represents people of color. You know, whenever we, thinking about Tamir Rice, the 12-year-old child that was shot in Cleveland by police, when that happened, what did they do? The first news story in Cleveland that made a big splash was about Tamir Rice's parents and the history of domestic abuse and criminality among his parents, not about the cop that killed him. We talk worse about black victims than we do white killers. What did we say about Ted Bundy? Oh, he was so smart and he was so quiet and he always seemed so nice. Every time one of these white boys goes and shoots up a school, what do we say? We had no idea he was going to do this. So we talk better, we have more sympathy for white folks who commit mass murder, bury bodies under the house, cook them up in a soup pot and eat them, right? Than we do black folks who were killed by police. We start digging for every bad thing they ever did. We want to know if they had a juvenile record. We want to know if they'd ever been arrested. That's what the media does. And until that changes, I'm afraid white folks will stay in denial and it'll be very hard for us to move forward, whether we're talking about cops or just average everyday folks.